Hi everyone, this is Lee from High Performance Coaching and Training. So today I've just come back from having a coffee with another business colleague that I met on social media, and it was quite refreshing. And the reason why it was refreshing was that we were open. We took the masks down and we were very authentic, and we spoke from a real sense of meaning and connection. But we talked about a spade being a spade. I don't know about you, but so many times I will go for coffee or I'll go to networking events, and you'll meet other business leaders and and people who work for companies as well. And they all wear this mask. Everything is perfect. Everything is amazing. Everything is just ideal. And we know that this is not true. We know that a lot of business owners struggle, and sometimes they're really desperate for new clients and getting their business to move forward, but they're not honest. They're not honest. So we put this pretense on all the time, and it led to a conversation that we're talking about because we were really honest. We talked about the areas that we needed developing in, the areas that we wanted to improve in. We talked about our strengths and our weaknesses and how our different skill sets could complement each other. And there's a possibility that we will do something together because the person I was speaking to has a different skill set to what I have. And it wasn't about, okay, let's go and look at all these wonderful buzzwords like, let's do collaboration. Let's become leaders. Let's be honest. Let's put our cards on the table and have real conversations. So we talked about that. It was really, really refreshing because it's nice to actually talk about the areas that you're looking for someone to help you with without the fear of, I don't want to be sold to, I don't want to feel inadequate. I want to pretend everything is fine. So I made a decision before I went to the meeting that it wasn't about me trying to engage or sell. It was about me simply wanting to connect and being authentic. So it's quite difficult to actually get me to have meetings, go offline to have meetings because, I've been in business for 18 years and it's the same stuff, the same old so-so, the same old stuff. Everyone's trying to sell their stuff and everything else to you. But it was a really interesting conversation. Anyway, so that led me into a little bit about, what's going on. And it led me into, I suppose, times where I've actually sat down and worked with leaders. And now I do my training courses. And a lot of organisations simply send their teams off just to tick the boxes, not to actually implement anything, just to learn the skills, and they don't do anything with it. Anyway, I get really sad sometimes when I'm working with, managers and newly leaders, and throughout the workshop, they start to confide in me and they start talking about, they're in a leadership type role, but they have a lot of resistance around it. Some of them have been promoted through the ranks, and their colleagues and that have resentment around that because they miss the opportunity. So what happens is they start then to dominate the newly leader. And the leader, we all want to be nice. We want to have all good leadership skills and everything else. But what happens is we swing too far. So what happens with some of these leaders is they start to become too kind, too soft. I hope that makes sense. So they start to allow themselves to be walked over. They start to lose confidence in their ability to have those tough conversations that they need to have to ensure that the code of conduct is being maintained, which is the direct result of creating the culture within the organisation. So how people operate within the organisation will determine the culture. It's not about, having nights out where you go drinking and you do bonding and all this sort of stuff. It's about, it's about having those conversations you need to have, an acknowledgement along the way as well of what's true and what's real. So I put together a 5-day challenge. So the 5-day challenge is about real conversation. It's about, can we have those conversations where we need to confront, where we need to confront someone else because they're disrespecting us or they're going behind your back, they're creating turmoil within the organisation or the business. So sometimes we need to have those conversations. And they can be conversations around expectations. They can be conversations around things that that person, the code of ethics, code of conduct, the way they're treated, the way they're interacting. But these conversations are important to have. And sometimes we just don't want to have it. And the reason why we don't want to have these conversations is because we don't want to be not liked. We want to avoid conflict. We don't want to face conflict because it takes courage to stand up and have these conversations. So what I've created is a 5-day challenge. So I believe that training is not just about gaining education. Training is equipping you with the tools so that you can implement. So to me, all my training courses, everything that I do, it's about, okay, here's the knowledge, but let's also talk about how you're going to implement it into your workplace. How can I support you so you implement the knowledge and not just become a person who ticks the boxes? So the idea of the challenge is not only will you get the scripts and you'll get the structure and you'll get the encouragement and the guidance to set yourself up and prepare you for the conversation. The outcome is you have that conversation. You actually have that confrontational conversation that you've been putting off. And of course, this can be used in all areas of your life. It's not just about workplace. It's all about dealing with people. So the same structure, the same system, everything that I'm going to teach you on the 5-day challenge, you'll be able to implement in your home environment as well. So remembering our skills are all transferable. So what we learn, in our work or our business can be implemented in your home as well. So if you're interested in taking the courage and stepping up, the link is above me. Jump on the link, join the challenge. I challenge you to join the challenge and start to get real. Start to get really, really real. And when you step up and start to have those confrontational conversations that you need to have in a respectful way, in an organized way, in a structured way, then you'll start to command respect. And when you start to command respect, no one else will walk over you anymore, and you can step into those shoes of a true leader and not just tick the boxes and do courses and not do anything with the information as well. Love to hear your comments about the video below. Love to hear your thoughts. Please reach out to me, have a chat. The link is there. I look forward to seeing you on the challenge. Take care. Bye.